Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, or just Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. We don't speak the colon out loud, but I just did. This is the sequel to the original Percy Jackson Lightning Thief from 2010. This is from 2013. It's an hour and 47 minutes long, and it is not the same thing as the brand new Percy Jackson series that's now on Disney Plus, started in December, and there's a whole new cast. I think they might even be retreading storylines. I have not watched it yet. I got busy, so I didn't add it into my normal. It came out during the Christmas run, and I wasn't going to interrupt the Christmas run again, so Anyway, we'll get to it eventually. We got to this one. Like I said, this is the second in a series of films from 20th Century Fox prior to the acquisition by Disney years later. It stars Logan Lerman, Alexandra Daddario, and Brendan T. Jackson, along with a special small scene from Nathan Fillion. I'm mentioning it for the geeks out there. Nathan Fillion, Firefly and The Rookie and Castle fame. He appears as Hermes. If you know your Greek gods, when you see what kind of job he has in the real world, might make sense to you. However, his main purpose is to make an appearance and essentially make a Firefly reference. Yeah, I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, there's a very direct Firefly reference made in there. And by the way, Nathan, a lot of us got to first know him through Buffy the Vampire Slayer, through the whole Joss Whedon realm of things, who also created Firefly. In this film also features Anthony Stewart Head, who was Giles in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. He is a centaur in this, or is it a minotaur? He's got a horse body and a human torso, and long hair, and he's a bit scruffy, and he's very much not Giles in this one, so it's kind of neat to see that. What we get here is, yes, a very much a big follow-up to the original movie. If you had not seen the first movie, some of this stuff, some of the characters and conflicts that are set up in this may not make sense. Luckily, when it got picked randomly, as these often are, we got the first one first, and now the second one. And I'm going to warn you right now, without spoiling anything, it seems to be setting up a third in a trilogy, but that never happened. That never came to pass. But that's, I guess, what we're going to see here in the new Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus. Being this is an hour and 47 minutes long, that's technically like 2 episodes of a TV show. It's kind of how Marvel does it with a lot of their series. They'll put out 6-episode seasons or 8-episode seasons, and you essentially get a trilogy of movies out of that, but broken down into more digestible beats, sectioned out. If you put any 2 episodes of two consecutive episodes of Loki, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, they technically would, in a rough stance, make 3 movies. So technically we've had at least 2 trilogies for Loki. I don't know how many. I can't remember how many episodes the first season had, but I think the second season had 6 episodes. So in this case, with Disney Plus making the new Percy Jackson series, we might be getting the full range of storytelling for the Percy Jackson universe that was never accomplished in the films. Films are a costly endeavor, and they certainly spent their money on special effects in this, visual effects. And you can also see the moments when they chose to, hey, let's save some money. Hey, you know that kid who's a Cyclops? Let's give him a special spray that he puts on and then makes him look like he has 2 eyes. We don't spend any money anymore after that. for a good chunk of most of his scenes. When it's necessary, yes, the single eye will come back for storytelling reasons. But for the most part, now we don't have to have this kid wearing a green swatch of cloth across his face and dots and whatever else, bubble balls and stuff. So yeah, we don't have to do that. So you can see where they save money here and there. The effects on this actually look pretty good. This is a 10-year-old film, and it stands up. I think it's it's not going to be Avatar level, but it still it stands up pretty well. What we have here, though, it suffers from the fact that this got greenlit in an era in which every studio was looking to make a Harry Potter happen for them. Harry Potter was a big deal. As soon as Harry Potter got optioned and got made and became successful, I mean, the books were a phenomenon on their own. And when they realized, oh, you know what, young adult fantasy fiction, that might be a thing that people might want to go see made into a movie. Well, suddenly every YA author had $1 million in their pocket, I hope at least. With Hunger Games and Percy Jackson and God, there's so many out there that I've already forgotten who they are, and you've probably already forgotten the Divergent tales that I don't know if they ever even properly finished, and if they did, they're like, we're fine with it. Like, we don't need to make more. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on where basically they needed to make movies about teenagers, usually a trio of teenagers, our male hero, his female companion who's smarter and, of course, prettier than everybody else, then his funny sidekick buddy who is, one of them is going to get with the lead female at some point, like boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing, not get, But it's that trio of heroes that go out there. And of course, there's always bullies at whatever place of gathering. Harry Potter had Hogwarts. This place has the training areas in the woods. I forget what they called it. It actually has a Greek historic name. We're basically teenagers who are half-bloods. Again, also much like Harry Potter, there's always the talk of pure blood and half-blood and diluted blood. We need to get away from all that, but yes, it is a struggle that certain generations prior to ours have always focused on. And yes, we still have people today talking about that kind of thing in their speeches that says, oh, these people are different, maybe lesser, usually lesser than others, or they are special, but they're separate. And in this realm, Percy is the only human heir to a high-level Greek god, Poseidon. That's why he's got the water powers. That's why there's sea and there's sea monsters. Luckily, at one point in the film, the bad guy, which I will not spoil who that is, the bad guy decides to take one of the good guys, kidnap them, and make their escape on a yacht. Well, you're just playing into the kid of Poseidon's hands. Okay, we're going to have an action sequence. Let's just, get away on a yacht. No, don't go by train. No, don't just get in a car. Let's just, get in a boat where Percy might have a bit of an advantage. There's lots of other scenes throughout this that reflect similar moments in Harry Potter films. I know they don't necessarily try to do that. Sometimes they obviously do, but and there's reasons. I mean, certain things they make for exciting scenes. They make for exciting moments. Scenes that just are meant to be exposition. By the way, there's lots of exposition, because if you don't know your Greek history, and most people who are the target audience of this, unless they paid attention in school, don't know anything about Greek history. And so in order to fit things together, and if they didn't read the books or whatever else, in order to fit things together, there's a lot of, hey, let's give some backstory on this character, this Greek historic moment, or why the gods are who the gods are, and what they do. So we'll animate that sequence. So they went into a little animation sequence, very much like they did with the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter. So yeah, there's always these little shortcuts that are unavoidably similar when it comes to the execution of certain storytelling moments. And you can't get away from it. And honestly, if you have seen the Harry Potter films, everything in these kind of things fits within those beats, within that structure that they already know works for an audience. And hopefully you'll connect with, Percy and what's her name? Annabeth and Grover. Hopefully you're going to connect with them and go, just like you did with the other kids in the Harry Potter films, and see that the great struggle they have with powers far beyond their own comprehension are going to be worth it, are going to be something that you care about. For the most part, I really didn't care about what was going on with these characters. Once you know the structure, you know how things usually are going to turn out. That person who looked like they just got killed, well, guess what? They're not dead. Oh, did they get eaten? Maybe. Did the hero fail in his quest? For the moment. But a twist happens, and they have overcome. Is there going to be a big heroic stand, a tagline, or I don't know, however you want to say it, just a thing you want to say just before you make the killing blow? Yeah, that's going to happen too. One of the elements that I don't know if is actually part of Greek mythology or not, and I don't say Percy Jackson isn't part of Greek mythology himself. As far as I know, he is a modern day created character who said, "Hey, yeah, you know what? You're the half-blood son of Poseidon." Because sometimes the gods come down and they mate with the humans. Well, in this case, Poseidon got around, as most gods do, especially Zeus, and he happened to hook up with another type of creature, meaning that Percy, for this adventure, now has a brother. But he's not human. He's a Cyclops, which I mentioned earlier. He has a single eye, and therefore, with a speaking character that is through most of the film, makes you realize, oh crap, we need to have this effect on screen most of the time. But 2 eyes now, perfectly fine. So yeah, I mean, there's elements of treating people the way you want to be treated. There's lessons to be learned, showing just because people are different or look different, or you suspect that they come from a line of people who you find distasteful, or even one of the heroes in this, has a bit of a kind of a negative thought about our Cyclops character, not because of who he is or what he's done, but because of what his people have done in the past. So, can we get over that? We get over it fairly quick when, of course he's going to prove himself. Or will he? Will he not prove himself? Will he turn out to be the turncoat that she or he suspected him to be? Never know. I'd say, yeah, if you love these films when they came out 10 years ago, you haven't seen it in a while, I think it holds up quality-wise, but again, so much of it is predictable. The fun parts for me were, despite the fact that I don't know a ton about Greek mythology, I know enough, and I recognize certain nods, not even nods, like direct references, characters that existed in Greek mythology and how they're interpreted into the modern world. Hermes is an example. So it's what's the other ones that I was making a reference to? The Grey Sisters. You're going to find a scene in which they feature to be very similar to the Harry Potter, like the first one or second one, I think. Just think night bus. In this case, it's a taxi. So, I know I'm overly comparing, and it just, Harry Potter isn't perfect either. But unfortunately, what you're going to get with this is a sequel that has no third movie payoff that I know of. I mean, let's look. We got Percy Jackson and Olympians, the Lightning Thief. By the way, they got rid of the and Olympians just to clean things up here. We got Sea of Monsters, which we just watched, and then we have the new series. There are no other Percy Jackson things, and we will never get that third film because Logan and Alexandra and everybody else, they're all grown up now. It's 10 years later. We're not getting that sequel unless it's like an animated thing. But even they don't have to because the series now exists. So take this for what you will. If you're a completist, it's worth checking out. But for the most part, it's not going to matter in the long run. I don't think this is going to be a thing that you're going to have to watch in order to understand the series that is now on Disney+. So, all right, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 275. Don't have to scroll far. Okay. Don't know what this is, but it's a series, so we'll just watch one episode probably just to get the gist of it. It's probably animated, I'm guessing. We'll find out. But this is Sheriff Callie's Wild West. Is it a Disney Junior thing? I don't know. I don't know what it feels like. Sheriff Callie's Wild West is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.